Okay, thank you very much. Welcome everyone to tonight's Skype Shiur. We're studying now tonight Parashat Vayakhel Pukudei, the end of Sefer Shemot from Poat Yosef Synagogue. And tonight we'd like to thank also Meir and Jonah Hari for arranging this shiur. To be to their credit. And we'd like to dedicate tonight's shiur L'Refuah Shlema for Rabbi Gabriela Naomi Bat Malka, also to Sheva Bat Rivka. Also tonight I'd like to dedicate it also for Atzlacha for my father tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, and also for Atzlacha for me. I've got a big exam coming up next week, so I want everybody's tefillot. V'matzliach in Rabbanut Rashit Israel. I'm taking one of them on Monday, so I'm very בזכות הסיור, בזכות הרבים, בעשיית שמיה. So we're going to do a shiur tonight. B'ezrat Hashem.
They know that we've got a camera inside.
Parashat Vayakhel. So obviously this is the end of Sefer Shemot. So if you're going to look, the Torah talks a lot about all the different parts of the Mishkan which is being built. And a lot of Parashat Vayakhel Pukudei is similar repeat to Parashat Truma and Tetzaveh. Very complicated things. I want to draw your attention to one pasuk, and I want to learn a very important lesson from that, and we'll talk about that. And that's going to be really the lesson for today. I was just really reviewing some of my notes from Shiurim. A lot of it is based on the Shiur from Rav Mansour, Eliyahu Mansour from New York. And I want to share with you one of the most powerful tools that a person can have for success in Torah, and also for success in personal life and anything really. This is really one of the the most powerful tools of human nature. Okay, I want to study with the pasuk. Look at Perek Lamed Hey. Pasuk. Just find it.
I really wouldn't worry about it.
Perek Lamed Vav. Perek Lamed Vav. We're talking about who was created, who created the Mishkan, who was building it, who was in charge of building it. Right, there was two people who was in charge of the building of the Mishkan, Betzalel and Oholiab. And they had many people helping them. Right, expert craftsmen. In the Mishkan, you had all the vessels that was made from the gold and silver, but you also had wooden craft, embroidery, masters people of very expert umanim. Now, where did they train? Where did they get this training course to learn? When you see like a fancy carpet, right, which is woven. You need very difficult technique needs to be learned, needs to be studied.
She's got a son.
And here, there's no really, courses of training in the desert. Right? I don't know what tools they had. And they had the Kol Ish Chacham Lev. Let's pick up Perek Lamed Vav, pasuk Aleph.
I'm just cleaning up. I'm on.
וכל איש, כל מלאכה חושב מחשבות.
We kept him as it is. The pregnancy,
Right,
telling them about the dates in the letter.
אשר נתן השם חוכמה ותבונה לדעת לעשות את כל מלאכת עבודת הקודש וכל אשר ציווה השם. ויקרא משה אל בצלאל, השם would call over. משה would call over בצלאל עליו, אל כל איש חכם לב. What's חכם לב? חכם לב. Wise is chacham, lev is of the heart, right? Wise-hearted. That's the translation of chacham lev. Wise-hearted men. אשר נתן השם חוכמה ותבונה לדעת לעשות, that they should know כל מלאכת עבודת הקודש לכל אשר ציווה השם. ויקרא משה בצלאל באוהל אוהליו, אל כל איש חכם לב אשר נתן השם חוכמה בליבו. כל אשר נשאו ליבו לקרבה אל המלאכה לעשות אותה. Now, let me just explain what happened over here. אשר נתן השם חוכמה בליבו. Hashem gave the חוכמה בליבו. He gave him the wisdom in his heart. Right? So if you can imagine, somebody, right, he has no idea anything about computers, right? They give him, So nowadays, what do you do? You study for 3 years on a course, you learn how to do computers, and then you become an expert in computers, right? Or you study medicine, you go to learn for 3 years, and then you come out, you're a master. What they do, you give him a brain chip, right? Put it into his brain, and that's it. In 1 second, he's already a master. He mastered it. That's it. You just swallow one pill, and you become already now expert. That's what happened. Hashem just implanted into his brain this knowledge, how to make the construction of the Mishkan. Who did he give it to? There was only one requirement, right? That means he had a whole line of volunteers. Everyone's volunteering in the line, okay? Gilad and Maor and Meir, all the righteous people in Am Yisrael. Everyone wants to be part of the Mishkan, right? Everyone wants to be, I'm the one. See the fancy, the parochet? Yeah, that was me. I did the lion part. That was my part, what I did. So who was given the advantage to have this Chacham Lev? Kol asher nasau libo likava el machal. Nasau libo. What's nasau libo? Nasau libo is someone whose heart inspired him. A man of inspiration. Someone who's got the will. Someone who has the passion. Who has the drive. That has the inspiration. Right? A man is someone who has a vision. And this is really the secret. So what's the difference between a winner and a loser? This is what Torah is telling us. Nasau libo. All that a person needed to do, if you have the ratzon, and this is the koach haratzon, and this is what we want to talk about tonight. The koach haratzon to be matzliach, and that's what a person needs. And then a person can achieve something, even beyond what we thought was possible, beyond his human nature. That's what becomes superhuman nature. Now, just these words, Nasau libo. That's the end of the parasha. I just want to talk about this topic. We can close the Chumash just for a moment. And just let's think about this. How does a person change his life? How many things we don't take on because we think, we can't achieve it. It's too difficult. It's too hard. No one's done it before. How am I going to do it? Okay, let's leave it. And you see, the successful person is the person who takes it on his mind and he said, no, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do it. And that's koach haratzon. Where, we say in English, where there's a will, there's a way. If you've got the determination, if you've got the wish and you have the drive and you want to do it, then you'll be able to do it. I'm going to give you an example, right? There's many examples for this. You see it all throughout the Torah, yeah? One of them is from Bat Paro. Bat Paro, what she sees, she goes into the river, right? And she sees the, baby Moshe, the baby, she hears him crying, and she's 25 amot away. 25 amot away. It says, Vaishlach et amata, she stretched out her arm, and then her hand extended. How much did her hand extend? 50 times the length of her hand. Now, when you want to grab a cup of coffee, or it's on the table, so you stretch for it, okay? Now, sometimes you don't reach it, so then, you get up a little bit, and if you don't manage to get up, then you have to walk around the table. But no one tries and stretch, 50 meters. You don't need to, genius to calculate that you can't reach it, right? You don't need to make a calculation. You don't need the tape measure. You know that it's way too far for you to reach. So, what was Batya thinking? What was she thinking when she stretched out her hand? If it was going to be a miracle? So this is what I think from the Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim says this Batya knew she had to do what she could do. She has to try her best. Whatever she could do, she tried. So the rest is from Siyata Dishmai Min HaShamayim. The person needs to have the koach. Try and do whatever you can. And after that, Hashem will give Siyata Dishmai. And the difference. You see there's a famous story, there's a video clip of a woman, like a middle-aged woman, which was a very fat lady, not muscular at all. And a car tipped over, big heavy car, and there was a child trapped under the car, and it was her child, right? And those, passerby had this on video. So you see, she lifts up single-handedly, the car, lifts up the car, and opens the door and saves the child inside. Superhuman strength. Suddenly she gathers it. And after they interviewed her and they asked her, how did you do it? How did you lift up a car? what lady can lift up a car? You know, even a strong, muscular lady, how can you lift up a car? You know, a man can't lift up a car by himself. You know, he needs maybe 4 people just to like tilt it a little bit. And what was the response? He said, what do you mean? I had to do it. My child is underneath it. I have to do it. And when a person realizes, you know, he's got no choice and he has to do it, that's when the person is pushed to the limits, and that's when he brings out the best in the person. Right? You see people, they achieve deadlines, right? Sometimes, you know, a person, you know, at work, he has to reach a deadline, and he just has to make it. Right? Or he's a student studying for exam, and it's the last night. He has to do it. You know, suddenly he's awake all night, and he's wide awake, and he manages to do it, and he pushes himself to the limits, and that brings out the best. He's successful. Why? Because, you know, okay, there's no choice. I have to do it. If I have to, it has to be done. Then I'm going to do it. And this has got to do with the Koach Ratzon, because if you realize he has to do it, then that's the full expression of Koach Ratzon. That is the will, the way. And that's where he has to do his best.
So, Netanel, my apologies, you will need to repeat the last 4 sentences. You were disconnected.
I give an example that, so, you know, himself, you know, superhuman strength, which he's not used to doing, and he's able to the Rosh Hashiva. And he said, whenever I have to decide to do something, whether I'm going to do it or not, I don't think, you know, how hard is it going to be for me to do it? Is it going to be easy or hard? Can I do it or can't I do it? He doesn't ask himself, can I do it or can't I do it? He asks himself, do I have to do it or I don't have to do it? Am I obligated or am I not obligated? This is really the question, right? And you see that, you know, for a lot of people think, oh, can I do it? I can't do it. I can't. They don't say to yourself, I can't. Say, I don't want to. But if you want to, if you want to do it, you will achieve. If you want to do it, you know, sometimes the person decides, okay, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And you psych yourself up, and then you do it. And then suddenly, okay, you know, open up a few doors open for you that never, where did it come from? It just came from your koach haratzon to want to do it. And this is the power of humanity. The Rosh Hashiva of Mir, the great individuals of the generation. Rabbi Tzvi Finkel, Zichrono Livracha, just passed away maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I met this man, incredible man. He was leader of the biggest yeshiva in the world, Mir Yeshiva. Mir Yeshiva is got thousands of students. I don't know, maybe today, you know, at one point it was 5,000, maybe 7,000, 8,000 students, all learning Torah. An unbelievable place. And let me tell you about this man. First, we'll just put in brackets. I just have to tell you, just whenever I think about this, Ross and Sue Finkel, you know, I just get excited. I met him, and you just see the greatness of a person in his simplicity. He was a man in the age of mid-60 something maybe, but he had Parkinson's disease. Okay, and I don't know if you know anyone with Parkinson's, but let me just tell you the following story, right? He built up the yeshiva. He received it. When he received the yeshiva, he took it from his father. The yeshiva had something like 1,000 students, right? And everyone was waiting to see what is he going to do with the yeshiva. Excuse me. So, he built up the yeshiva, and he had plans of how to extend the yeshiva and build it, and he built several extra buildings to the yeshiva. And unbelievable man. And what, you know, our Rosh Kollel, he once told me the story that there was, you know, a rich man being taken around the yeshiva, one of the big supporters of the yeshiva. The yeshiva's got a budget of them around $2 million a month or something like that, you know, just to finance it, to fund everything. And one of the big donors, we're looking around the yeshiva, and you're saying, look, this is building, this is where they study, the halakha, look at this building, 500 students, look at this building, 1,500 students, look at this building, another 300 students. And you're showing all the buildings of the yeshiva. And he was really impressed, and he's like, wow, this is unbelievable. How is it run? But now I'm going to take you to a small house, and I'm going to show you the man who's in charge of running the whole yeshiva, one who's running it and who built it. I think to a small room, and he sees an old man, and Israel must be speaking to Rosh Yeshiva, and he's like shaking in his chair.
Can I sit down and read it? Can I sit down and read it?
And he's just blown away.
Yeah.
And he can't talk and he can't say anything. And he sees that the man, he's Parkinson's disease, and he's holding a Gemara, and he's shaking as he's holding the Gemara, and that's what he cares about, is learning the Torah and giving a shiur. And remember, he used to give the shiur in a wheelchair. They used to carry him in his wheelchair to the yeshiva, to the Bet Midrash, in order to give the shiur. And he was not so, not in control of his body, but sometimes he could only get out a few words and then he'd have to stop. But even though a few words of Torah, the students would catch it and just. And when the man walked out of the office, and he said, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. He said, I have an uncle who has the same disease. He said he can't even drink a cup of coffee. To hold the coffee, his hand's shaking. And he said, look at what this man did with determination, the power of will, the power of ratzon of Muslim Sufi. So, why am I telling you this? Because there was one time he needed to go to collect funds for the yeshiva. He went to one of the great leaders of the generation, of Aaron Leib Steinman. I think that was who he went to. And he asked him, what should I do? Should I go to America to get raise funds for the yeshiva? Right? That's how it goes nowadays. When a great yeshiva comes to your house, it opens up your heart, and the person donates. When he's in Israel, so it's more difficult to get funding. So he asked him, look, do you have koach to go? Do you have energy? Do you have the ability to go? And this is the response of a great man. He said to him, I don't have koach, but I can go without koach. If I need to go, I will go. And you see, the whole mind thought was, do I need to go? Do I have to go? Or do I not have to go? Doesn't matter, can I go? Can't I go? Do I have the ability to go? Do I have the koach to go? Do I need to go or do I not need to go? That was his whole focus in life was, is this what I need to do? And he achieved amazing things. So there was one person who came to his house, a visitor. I heard this in one of their study. And also, a man 60 years old, and he was talking to me and said, what about your learning? What do you learn? He said, look, I don't really learn. I never went to yeshiva. I never had the opportunity, and I'm not really learning. I don't really learn Torah. I said, well, what do you mean? When are you going to finish learning the Torah? He said, how do you want me to finish learning Torah? So he said, cool. He called him and said, have a look at this. He took him over to the drawer. He opens the drawer. He says, look at this. 60-year-old man. I'm a sick man. And I'm ill, and these are my plans to extend and build the yeshiva more. A person is never finished in his life. You always have more to achieve. You just have to be full of it and understand where you can do to achieve. And this is really the Yagata or Matata. The great story of Rabbi Akiva. What was the story of Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva married the daughter of the Kalba Savua, one of the richest men in the history of Israel. And his daughter just wanted him to learn Torah. Right? And what happened when Akiva, what made him change? So one time he saw a rock and the water
was shoved by the drops,
and,
yes.
And what was it? What happened to the drop? What happened to the drops?
They shaped the form of the
rock, and he sees in the rock there's a small groove inside the rock. And Rabbi Akiva said to himself, how did the water make a groove into the rock? Right? Try and drop some, try this at home, yeah? Take a few gallons of water, try putting onto a rock and see what you make. Nothing's going to change. But Rabbi Akiva, he noticed that. He said there's a change. If the water can change the rock, then the Torah, which is fire, can change Akiva, which is flesh and blood. And then he made a switch. He said, I can do this. Right? I can go to school and I can start learning Aleph Bet. And he's in the class, right? Can you imagine all the children there? And the Rebbe is teaching Aleph Bet. And he said, what's after the Bet again? What's the Gimel? Do the Gimel again? Show me. Right, and he's starting to learn everything from the beginning, but he has the will, he has the determination to finish it. You know, and 24 years later, he becomes the greatest man, you know, in the history, right? On the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, and in some ways even greater than Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Akiva himself. And he comes with all his 24,000 Talmidim. And who comes up to him? His father-in-law, Kaba Savoy, and he comes to him crying, and he says, Talmid Chacham, please, I need to be Matir Neder. I made a vow, and I promised I wouldn't give my daughter any money because she married some Am Haaretz, doesn't learn Torah. And I've seen, look, she's miskena, she's poor, she doesn't have food, she doesn't have money for the children, and I feel bad, and I want to help her out. I want to give her some money, and I wrote her off from all my money from my Bible. Please be Matir the Neder. So Rabbi Akiva, he says, wait. You know, we the Petach. What was the reason for you making the Neder? You said because he was an Am Haaretz. If you'd find out now that your Chatan was Talmid Chacham, and he had the yeshiva, and he had many Talmidim, would you make the Neder? He said, well, I would make a Neder, I would give him all my money. That's what I would do. All my money I would give him if he was a Talmid Chacham. So Rabbi Akiva says to him, okay, Mazal Tov, this is how you spell my name, Akiva, you know, just make the transfer. And Bachavod, he said, look, this is me. This is Rabbi Akiva. How did he become so great? All from his koach of ratzon to be successful in Torah. And when he saw the drip in the water, he said, that can be me. I can do it. And that's really the lesson of here. The koach of ratzon, I can do it. Noseit libo means lift up your heart. Don't think yourself, well, what can I do? What can I do? Everyone, you know, I wish if I was like that, then I could be something else. Person has to realize who he is. You know, the Gemara says, "Matai Adam yishal et atzmo, Matai yagia ma'asai le'maaseh avotai." When am I going to reach the level of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Right? You know, we're all the time comparing ourselves to our friends, to our neighbors. You know, oh, well, he's really successful. He's really good. I wish, you know, I could be more like him. But we're comparing ourselves to the wrong people. The Gemara says we should compare ourselves to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, right? Not even the Gedolim of our generation. You're not even supposed to look at your Rosh Hashiva and say, when am I going to be like him? You're supposed to look at Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. That is who you're meant to reach to. That's who you can be, right? The Gemara says when a person is judged in Shamayim, you know, he says, "Oh, why didn't you learn Torah?" You know, I was busy. I had a job, 9 to 5. What about Hillel HaZaken? You know, you're expected to. Compared to Hillel HaZaken, that's who you're supposed to be. That is the level of person. You know, we don't realize what our potential is. And sometimes, you know, we just compare ourselves to a lower level, but we should really be inspired and see we are powerful beyond measure. There was a famous Musar, Sichat Musar, a shmuz in yeshiva from Rabbi Vayakhel Levenstein. He was Mashgiach in the yeshiva of Mir Yeshiva in Shanghai. Now, does anybody know what's a rickshaw? Rickshaw. Do you know what a rickshaw is? Yeah, do you know what it is? Mo?
Rickshaw.
Rickshaw. Rickshaw is the English word.
No.
Gilad, you still with us?
Yeah.
What's a rickshaw?
I know a rickshaw.
What's a rickshaw?
It's like.
I'll tell you what a rickshaw is. A rickshaw is what they have in China. In China. Mo?
Yeah, like rickshaw. Yeah, it's like a tricycle on an engine or pedals to carry people around.
Oh, excellent! Very, very good. Okay, so Mo, rickshaw is exactly. It's like a wagon, and then they have it. I think in London, in the city, it's pulled by a cyclist. There's a cyclist on the front, and in the back there's a wagon, and people travel around like this. So that is the modern rickshaw. The traditional rickshaw, which had 100 years ago in China, that was without cyclists. Right? In China, they didn't have shortage of horses. They didn't have horses, and they travel around Or how did they travel? How did they take stops, right, with wagons? Didn't have. Well, they had a little Chinaman. Imagine he has two poles coming out the wagon, and he's holding the wagon and he's running. Back. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yeah.
So, someone want to connect? Joe wants to try to connect. So, Rabbi Levenstein, he was amazed by the rickshaw, and he said, "We have to look at this rickshaw, and we have to take lesson from it." He said, "How does this little Chinaman, skinny man, and he's pulling the rickshaw all day long? You know, from the morning, from the dawn till dusk, all day long, he's pulling on. It's heavy. You know, it's a full wagon of goods."
So the answer is simple. It's a matter of habit.
He trained himself. But how could he do that? You know, you would try to do it there, and you know, you'd give up very quickly after it. You know, half a day or 2 days. But how did he do it? He raised himself, you know, physically, but also mentally. So Rabbi Cheskel used to repeat this to every time. He used to say, "Look at the Chinese man in rickshaw. Look how he trained himself to get used to do this. He's pushed himself to the limits. But he knows this is what he has to do. This is his parnasa, and he has to pull the wagon. And he knows he has to do it. He doesn't have another option." And he said, we need to look at this man and use our power for Torah. He said, you know, a person learns Tide, okay, you know, right, he learns for an hour, okay, now I need a break. All right, or, you know, he learns for a while, okay, now I need it, that's enough. But he said, this man keeps on going and going and on and on and on. How does he manage to do that? He said, we have to take lesson and learn from what we see with the Chinese man, with rickshaw, and apply it to ourselves. To apply the koach haratzon, the determination to keep on to doing something, and then we can achieve something which is, you know, unbelievable. They say we only use 5% of our brain, 5%, something between like 5 and 10% of the brain. That's what we use. Right? Geniuses maybe use 10%. Einstein maybe used 15%. But where's the rest of the 85? Hashem gave us a brain which is a mastermind, and you see the brain doesn't seem to have a limit. Right, a person can always learn more and study more and new things, and every day more things can be put into your brain. Now, you just have to realize that it has to be like that. Why? Adam is nivra b'tzelem Elokim. We are created in the image of God. So Hashem is how do you say Ein Sof is unlimited. So there has to be some aspect to us which is also unlimited. Does that make sense? We are B'Tselem Elokim, created in the image of God. God is limitless. So there has to be something which resembles in us limitless or boundless, no limit, without any boundaries or limits. It has to be like that. Our brain power could go in so many ways. You know, we can imagine in our brain things which are million miles away. We can create images from nothing. You see that is a power which is godlike, which is divine. Does that make sense? So we have to ask ourselves, you know, why did Hashem give us this powerful tool? Why were we given this mind, the power of the brain? Why did Hashem give it to us? So obviously a person needs to function. Okay, he has to raise a family, bring children, and bring for himself. But okay, also animals have families, and animals provide for the children. Okay, the human intellect is way more advanced and more powerful than that. You know, things that you can create, things which you can achieve as a human with your human mind is limitless, is boundless. You know, just how much your desire and how much you want to go, how much you wish, how much you live, how much you raise and inspire yourself to achieve, that is really your limit. But as far as the mind is concerned, you can reach anything. So we have to realize that as our duty and also an obligation to fulfill what we've been given, the tools that we have in our hand, the mind that we've been given. I'll share with you a story in the Gemara in Ta'anit. Just nowadays, a person just, we don't even, some days, a person doesn't even like think for himself anymore. And to make every small decision, everyone like asks his friend, what do you think I should do? Should I go here or should I go there? Should I buy a watch or should I not buy it? And people ask you, the simplest things, just work it out yourself. Use your brain. But we, because of now, we don't use it, especially nowadays with the, with the phones. So, just simple maths. Person just takes out his phone. Okay, what's 7 plus 12? 1 second. Just don't use your brain power. You got a phone. Just use the phone to add it up. Every little thing you take out the phone. Someone told me that there's a gadget on the phone. What's it called? Application, an app that it decides for you. What should you eat, right? What should you eat? So it's got in there like a slot machines, or all the restaurants in the area with a 1 kilometer radius, and it's a slot machine that on the screen it chooses for you which restaurant, what to order from the menu, and what to drink, right? And you just shake it, and then it comes out. And if you don't like the option, you just shake it again. And that person can't even think what he wants to eat anymore, right? You just listen to your phone. Your phone is telling you what you should eat. Did you realize, what level we're at, and at this human stage, what decides, what we're gonna do? Okay, Hollywood decides what we're gonna dress, how we're gonna dress like. That's how they dress. This is the fashion. This is how we're gonna do it. We're just all the time following other people. When do we actually use our brains to think for ourselves? What should we be doing? Not just copying other people. Common difference between life and school. That in school, first you have a lesson and then you have a test. But in life, first you have a test and then you learn from the test. You learn afterwards. The learning comes after your test. And in some ways, people look at life as like school. And in school, you copy other people's homework. You copy them in the test or the exam or whatever you're doing. You're just copying other people. And people in life take that also to copy other people. When are you going to take the initiative to do actually what you think is right and do what is right? So stop copying. So I'm going to share with you the story from Dr. Abaumana. He was a character in the Gemara, and he was a doctor. And one of the things they used to do in the olden days was bloodletting. Bloodletting, they used to let out blood. And what was the purpose of it? They believed at that time that when a body needs blood, so create new blood cells, and this is healthy for the body to have fresh new blood cells running in the body. So he had a surgery, and he came up with the new things, right? So last week we spoke about people reaching Olam Haba for different things. Isn't what the Gemara said about him? The Gemara said about him, he used to have a welcoming from Bat Kol, right? Yeshiva Shel Mala. They used to speak to him, greet him, the Yeshiva Shamayim, every day, and he used to say, greet him. That's used to have a Bat Kol every day appear to him. And the Gemara says about the Rava and Abaye. Abaye and Rava was the two famous Amoraim in the Gemara, two great rabbis, sages in the Gemara. And you don't find, every 3 pages they come up in the Gemara arguing in halakha about something, Abaye and Rava. And so the Abaye and Rava, they would receive, this heavenly greeting. Once a week. He was busy in his surgery all day. And every day, he gets this welcoming and greeting from Yeshiva. He's feeling a little bit down. And he thinks to himself, why is this? He asked me Shammai one Friday when they came to him, when they visited him. He said, who is this Dr. Abaumana? What's so great about him? At the end of the day, he's a simple man. I'm the Rosh Yeshiva here, right? And I'm killing myself for the Torah and for my students, and I'm trying to do Torah and Chesed. And what's over here? What is he doing that I'm not doing? So what was the response?
So Netanel, the previous 3 sentences. So it's really, the last part is detached from the beginning. So, we're disconnected. So they will receive once a week a message, and from there, I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, does everyone have a similar problem? Can you hear me clearly? Maura, Meir?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'm
got
just gonna do a
disconnected.
small repeat. Disconnect. Okay, fine. So we said that Abaya used to have once a week a greeting from Shemaim, and Rava once a year, and Abba Amana every day. And Abaya was feeling disheartened. He was sad. He was like, why am I only getting once a week, and his doctor going every day? Am I doing something wrong? Well, I'm the Rosh Hashiva. I'm giving Shiur every day. I'm learning all day. I'm killing myself as much as I can for the Torah. And I'm doing Chesed. Why do I have to wait a whole week till I see? So they said to him from Shammai, said, first of all, don't worry. Hashem is very happy with you. You're doing nothing wrong. You're a great Rosh Hashiva. And in your merit, the whole city is alive because of your merit. Just your presence being in the city is keeping everyone alive. Just your presence being. Because you hear that's what everyone's doing, have bracha and everyone, and because of you. So first of all, feel good. Now you want to know why Dr. Abba Umana, what's special about him? I'm going to tell you. And he does something that you can't do. Something special. And I'm going to share this with you because something we can all take a lesson from, even if we're not doctors in his surgeries. But he used to have certain habits in his surgery. First thing he did, he created a waiting room with two entrances. One entrance for men and one entrance for women. Why? So olden days, right? So people waiting for the doctor, they have a waiting room, and people gathering around, and it's become it's like a social gathering of people, and people start talking, and then there's a lot, sometimes can get one thing can lead to another, get carried away and get friendly, and there's a lack of tzniut between the men and the women. Right? Nowadays you go into the doctor's office and everyone's on their phone, no one talks to anybody, and that's it, nothing. But in those times, that was the social, where let's go meet in the doctor's office, see who's there. So he decided this is wrong, it's unacceptable, and I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make waiting room for women, waiting room for men. That was one thing he did. Original idea by Dr. Abba Omana. Number two, he created a special garment for ladies that, when you want the blood, so you got the big vein in your arm. So to release the vein, what do? You go to the hospital and you open your sleeve and you have to reveal your sleeve. So the doctor, he needs to do his work, and he's allowed to do it. But he said, listen, why do we need to do that? It's not sneaked for a woman to reveal all her arm. I'm going to create a special robe. You can just open, a little window where the vein is, and I can do the operation, do the surgery for that. And that's what he patented it, and he had it made. He had the caveat here. He ordered it, got it made, ordered it from China, different robes with his window, and he saw, he gave it out to everybody there, and everyone had it. That was the second thing he did. Nowadays, you go to hospital robe, and you give your robe, and you see it's open at the side, and it's open at the back, and where's the tzniut involved? No one thinks about tzniut with the hospital, right? They need to have it open so that you can reach in with different equipment. But here they created a robe just for more reasons for tzniut. That was the second thing he did. The third thing he did was method of payment. Right? Payment. He had a little box, and the box was, some part of the office. And, there's a price list of how much everything costs. And if you want, you put money in the box. And if you can't afford it, you put a little bit less in the box. And if you want to pay later, you come later. Everyone puts whatever they want in the box. He doesn't see what you put in, and he doesn't see anything. Okay, nowadays, you go to the surgery, and first, where is he filling the form, payment, give your details, credit card, how you paying. Meanwhile, the guy is having a heart attack. He's waiting online, and all they care about is the money. But you see, Dr. Abba Amana, he says, what do you mean? I'm not going to treat somebody if you can't pay me? He'll pay me when he's comfortable to pay me, and I remember I'm going to help him and do my best. That was his third thing. Unheard of. You ever heard such a thing? Anybody doing that? Then it doesn't exist today, but it's written in the Gemara. It's like a legend. But this is true. This is what will happen. That was the third thing. And if it would be a poor man, so not only a poor man, he would not take any money from him. He would fulfill the surgery of bloodletting, and then he would give him money. And he said, take this money and go buy food. Why? Because after you lose blood, you need to build more blood cells, so you have to eat. The poor man doesn't have money to eat, so you give him money to go and eat. And the fifth thing, if it was a Talmid Chacham, so he would bring him in straight, wouldn't make him wait online at all. Straight away bring him the operation, and he would give him a lot of money and give him bracha and say thank you, and refuse to take any money from Talmid Chacham. And this was his practices. And what they were telling to Abaye was, you see that where everyone else is like, just like a fish, or just, following everyone else, and not doing it. He saw something that was wrong, and he made it right, and he was innovative. He had the inspiration to do something new, to do something that was right. He put his heart into doing what he believed, and he made the change. When no one thought it would be possible, he came and he did something new, right? And now, at this stage of the Shiur, I just want to mention, we've been running this Skype Shiur for like a year and a half. And it was a brainchild of Meir Rabbi. We gave a few Shiurim in London. He said, why didn't we carry on this Shiur? I said, how can I? I'm not in London. So let's do a Shiur on Skype. I said, Skype Shiur? I never heard of Skype Shiur. No, anyone has a Skype Shiur? There's Shiurim on the internet about Skype Shiur. He said, yeah, we can arrange it. I'll do my best. We'll do the technical. Don't worry. We'll get it set up. And Joe Nahari done it. And listen, for a year and a half, we've got Shiurim. More than 50 Shiurim we've been given. How many people have listened to the Shiurim? Sorry? How many people have listened to the Shiurim and gained from it? And my father listens to the recording. And one lady from Bnei Brak told me that she heard the recording. And every day I hear different people listening to it. And you see, as a person has the innovation. It's used. Hashem gave you a brain. Use that, just one spark to take the initiative and to fulfill it and to continue with it and to do that. Just that's one thing. Right? Everyone can do that. It's just an example of one of the many things that we can do. A person have to stop looking around and what everyone else can do, and just what can I do? And what do I have to do? That's what your approach should be. You see, one of the greatest musicians, someone correct me if I'm wrong, if it was, I don't know if it was Mozart or Beethoven, he was deaf part of his life. And he wrote
Beethoven.
Amazing pieces of music. And he was deaf. How did he do that? Well, he put his mind.
So he turned deaf.
I think every year they got the London Marathon. He turned deaf and continued composing music. And I think some of his best music of composing is after he became deaf.
Moonlight. Moonlight, which is the most beautiful piece, was composed after he became deaf. Yeah.
Now, how do you imagine that? Someone who's becoming deaf. Imagine someone who really loves music and his whole heart is music, and just to listen to the music, and suddenly he loses his ability to hear. It can depress him. It can depress him completely. He can lose all raton to live, let alone to compose. And to pick himself together and say, no, this is what I have this ability to compose, and I will continue to do it. And even I can't enjoy my own music, but other people can enjoy my music. Right? And just this is a simple lesson we're learning from a man who really used the ability which Hashem gave him. And everyone has this ability inside of him. And it's just the will and the ratzon to do it, and can do the most wondrous things, amazing things that for generations last. In London every year they have a London Marathon. Okay, so you always got this I think it's 25 kilometers or so there's one guy from Kenya, he runs the whole marathon in 2.5 hours he's finished. Okay, but you have lots of people along the way, and they're running just for charity. And there's one guy who's running on crutches, and or in a wheelchair. And you think, how is he going to do 25 kilometers? He's on crutches. He's not doing it to win. He's not going to run, but he's doing it, and he's putting all of it because something that he wants to do, and he makes it an end. And the end, after 14 hours or something, or he's made it and he's finished it and he's feel the achievement, and everyone's here, kol hakavod. He said, why? Because he's focused on doing that's what I want to do. And we will have that, the hidden ability within us. You have to appreciate what Hashem gave us. Maybe I'll just end off with one story. They said by one of Yitzchak from Kovna, and he had the dream. And the dream was that under the bridge in Vienna was buried treasure. So, so he tells his wife, listen, I had a dream, treasure. She said to him, okay, listen, dream is a dream. Laila tov, go to sleep. Goes back to sleep, and he has the same dream again. Back in Vienna under the bridge, and he can see the bridge, and he sees the treasure, and he tells his wife, what do you think about it? Should I go? Listen, stop dreaming about bridges and treasures. He goes back to sleep, and then third time, he said, 3 times I had the dream. So his wife says to him, listen, I can see you're not gonna be calm and not gonna be relaxed until you go to Vienna. So listen, go, it's not too far. Go, see there's nothing, and then get back to life, come back to normal. That's what she said to him. Good wife. So what did he do? You know this story? He goes to Vienna. He asks around, has anyone seen the bridge? You seen the bridge? He goes, yeah, there's a bridge. Show him where the bridge is. He goes to walk and he sees under the bridge. And he sees that there's soldiers there guarding underneath the bridge. They're all waiting there. So he thinks, okay, maybe I'll stick around for a little bit. Maybe they'll leave. I want to get to the bridge to see the treasure. It's exactly the same bridge from the dream. And the soldiers, they see this guy hanging around and he's walking up and back and he's not leaving. And think, hey, he's a spy. So they grab him and say, you're a spy. He said, I'm not a spy. He said, you're a spy. What are you doing here? He says, no, you don't understand. I have a dream and now there's a treasure. He said, listen, get out of here. Go back to Krakow where you came from and leave this place. And then while they're grabbing him, the general says to him, listen, I also had a dream. Yeah, I had a dream 3 times that in the city of Krakow, right, there's buried treasure. You think I'm going to go there? I'm not going to go there. And he said, you're from Krakow, yeah? He said, listen, did you hear of such a street like this? There's a house, there's such a house. He's describing to him the house, and he says, behind the oven, where the house is, that's where there's treasure. Is there such a house? The guy said, no, there's not such a house. And meanwhile, it's his house. It's his house. The guy had a dream 3 times about his house. He said, no, there's no such house. He goes running back to Krakow. He opens the oven, and sure enough, he sees the treasure over there in his house. What's the message of the story? The guy has to have a dream. He goes to Vienna. He travels. He's walking. Takes a few days. And where's the treasure? It's in his own house. You don't have to go very far to realize, where you can be. So the person thinks, okay, I wish if I had this, if I could be like him, if I could be different. You don't realize that the biggest treasure you have is within you. Hashem created you to be very powerful beyond measure. You have to just decide where's your heart. Naseh libo. That's really what a person has to do. And really, this is the message from this week's parasha. You put your heart. You have to be inspired to do what the right thing is, and that's where you can go. So let's just remember the lesson of the Koch HaRatzon. Where there's a will, there's a way. The lesson from the lady who lifted up the car from Batya, stretched up a hand. Just try for it. The lesson of the rickshaw, that a person, you can, if you realize this is what he has to do, he can have that power and use that power for Torah. The lesson of Rabbi Nosson Finkel, the Rosh Yeshiva, who even in his illness achieved greatness. And the Rosh Yeshiva decided, not can I do it or can't I do it? Do I have to do it? Or this is what I have to do. The lesson of Rabbi Akiva took a lesson from the stone to change, to do something right. He said, if the water can make a change, I can make a change. And how great did he become, Rabbi Akiva? The lesson of you see, from Mozart, and from Einstein, from the man on the crutches, Dr. Abba Omanah, who became original, who broke out from the norms. And he did something unusual. And it came to him from Shammai every day, greater than the greatest Rosh Yeshiva. And to remember, we have the ability that we are created in the image of God. and we have something which is powerful. We can create something from nothing in our minds. Right? Imagine a pink flower. Imagine, where did that pink flower come from? But it's an image which exists in your mind. It exists, and it's in your mind, and it came from nothing. And a person can think about different parts of the world, the planets, things that he's never seen. Imagine things that don't exist. A person can imagine in his mind. And the great mind that we have, and the ability to use it, and things that we can achieve, is within our hands. In our grasp. So B'ezrat Hashem, we take that message and be successful in everything that we do. But just choose what we want to do and have the right list of things that we can achieve. B'ezrat Hashem, wish tzlachat to everyone and success. And Shabbat Shalom. And thank you to you.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi.
Chazak u'baruch. Thank you.
Chazak u'baruch.
Thank you, Gilad.
Laila tov.